Rock stars, Eric Andres, your guitar sage here. Do you need music theory to play guitar? Now, before I answer this question, because I know a lot of you out there are already answering this question, but I know there's a lot of you that are not. Listen out to me for just one moment, because I've taught for many years, I've run across these different types of mindsets. And I've had a lot of students say several things like, Jimmy didn't know music theory, or blankety blank didn't know music theory. So I hear that one, and I hear this other one. I hear this other one that says, I don't want to know music theory because I want to be able to be the artist. I really want to be untainted by the rules, and I want to be able to create without having theory bog me down, and these sorts of things. Now, if it sounds like I'm saying this kind of in a mocking tone, it's not a mocking tone. It's more like those of you that know about music theory and know the more that you get, the better you are, or the more you have capabilities, understand kind of the reason that I might be saying this. So the question, does one need music theory to play guitar? The answer, no. Now, before you write a bunch of hate mail to me and a bunch of terrible comments, which I want you to write some comments anyhow, but you also don't need to go to the gym. You also don't need to work out. You don't need to eat right. You don't need to do the right thing in the world. You don't need to, there's a lot of things you don't need to do. You don't need to get up for your job. You don't need to get up to go to school. You don't got to take care of the kids. There's a lot of things we don't have to do, but it would highly accentuate our lives if we did the right thing, okay? If we did work out, that would be great. If we did eat the right thing, if we did watch after the kids, okay? If we did look both ways when we're crossing the road. So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of rules out there that are not rules for just rules' sake. They're rules because people get hit by cars. They're rules because people, they don't like their bodies, and then they say, well, if you do these particular things, this will help. Go to the gym, eat more salad, eat less donuts, those sorts of things. So there are rules, and the rules aren't out there for no reason. So there's meaning behind it. And the same thing in regards to music theory. Now, music theory essentially is explaining things that naturally occur in music. I'll say it again. Music theory is basically the rules that explain things as they naturally occur. So the major scale and all the bits and pieces that fall underneath the major scale, like the modes, like chords, key signatures, everything that is all derived based off of the major scale. If you know a little bit about music, you'll know this concept. The more we know about this, the better things are. It's kind of like if you wanted to go into war and you're like, you know, I don't really want to look at a map. I just want to feel my way out, and I'll navigate that way. Well, guess what? Your troops don't want you to do that. Your troops want you to know that map like the back of your hand because their lives depend on it, okay? So, yes, there are some musicians who came to things more from an ear perspective, but even Jimmy or even anybody who you use as an example as to whether they knew music theory or not, guess what? They knew music theory. Because if you know any of the names of these strings, if you know a major scale, if you know any scale, if you know any chord, if you know how to tune your guitar to a specific method, guess what? This is all music theory, okay? So you're in it already. You know music theory, okay? It's just you probably don't know as much as could benefit you. And you may be looking at it, if you're looking at it like rules that are going to keep you in a box, then you're looking at it in a way that is, one, not true, and two, it's not constructive. So knowing these, the way that music plays together, the way the scales work together, the way the chords work, the way melodies and chord progressions work. Knowing all of this only is going to give you more tools to work with and make you a better musician across the board, okay? If you pick an instrument up and you start noodling around with some notes and you're saying, I don't really need to know the scale, I don't need to know chords, I just play what I feel. Guess what? At the end of the day, when I analyze your song, I'll be able to tell you what key it's in, what chords you were suggesting, what scale you were using, this, that, and the other thing. Do you know why? Because music is universal. And again, music theory doesn't state that this is what you have to do. It just says, this is what's happening. Here are the patterns. And so, if you want to use those patterns to your advantage, you got to know them, because you can't write a great song in a minor key and not know what a minor key is and then go to write another minor key song. Well, if you don't know what it is that makes up a minor key, then how are you going to write another minor key song? Or if you know that you did a particular something, maybe you don't know what you did, but you randomly grabbed a chord by mistake, right? I've done this 1,000 times, and I didn't know what I was doing. But if you took a musician who knew music theory, they'd be able to label it for you. So no matter what, you're not getting away from music theory. You may not know it, you may not know what you're doing, but another musician will say, no, in fact, you didn't invent a chord. That's a chord that's been around since Thor the caveman walked the earth, okay? So there's no one inventing any new chords, new scales, new chord progressions for that matter, okay? Essentially, it's all been done, but it was all done ages ago, but at the same time, so much more can be done with what we have, okay? If you take 7 notes in a scale, that can create thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of different melodies in different combinations with different rhythms, et cetera, et cetera. So it indeed hasn't been all done, but we're really working with 7 notes, right? Maybe in different keys or what have you, and chords. But understanding how that works, just like understanding how diet works, understanding how working out works, and all these different bits, if you want to get good at a particular task, learn the behind-the-scenes bit, because it's going to make you an amazing guitar player a lot more than being that guy or gal who's like, I can't be bothered with the rules, okay? Remember, the rules are only there to help you, and if we stop calling them rules, maybe we call them patterns, they're going to help you to be able to come up with things on the spur of a moment, at the spur of the moment, you know? If you want to write from a place where you're not thinking about music theory, you can still do that. Take your guitar and tune it some other way, like the guy from the Goo Goo Dolls does. There's a lot of people that do stuff like this where they'll just do something completely different so that they come up with something new. And that, in fact, is a great way, because if you know what chords to go to and you know what chords work well together and what scales work with what chords and what have you, then yes, a lot of times you'll see those patterns and you'll be able to gravitate to those. Those that exhaust it, which takes a long time to exhaust those that really exhaust that and really want to get to a next level of creativity that's not based off that, but to where they're really truly just working on melodies and chords, can do that very easily by just going to a different instrument that they don't know, or tuning the guitar differently, capoing it, doing something that's literally going to change it up for them to where they don't know the notes off the top of their head or the way the chords work, okay? So, my answer, do you need music theory? The answer, no, you don't. But at the same time, you also don't need to get out of bed in the morning. You can just lay there until something happens, okay? So basically, I'm telling you, learn some music theory. It's not as scary as you think it is. In fact, if you can count to 7, you can know a lot about music theory. Watch my videos on the National Number System that teaches you how to think about all music in 7 notes, understanding the chords, the whole 9 yards. It's fascinating stuff, and it will absolutely change the way you think about music forever, as it did with me. I didn't learn it until maybe 7 years into my playing. I've been playing for about 35 years now, and so thank goodness I finally learned it. But those first 7 years, I was just kind of playing the scales and what have you, thinking I didn't know music theory, but in fact I did. And then understanding how all that fit together absolutely blew the roof off of understanding music for me, and allowed me to do things that I never would have been able to before without knowing that music theory. All right, my friends. Hey, I'm here to help you. My name is Eric Andreas, your Guitar Sage, and I've done this for a long time. I love doing it, and I want to help you how to play guitar. I have a free course for you at YourGuitarSage.com/30. And for those who want to do more than just those 30 lessons that I teach all my students, this is the first 30 lessons I teach all of them, those that want more, that want like 600 videos and 600 jam tracks and live broadcasts from me, you can do that for $1. That's right. There's a link in the description of this video if you want to take advantage of that. It's literally $1 to get in. You have unlimited access to 2 of my biggest courses, 365 Guitar Plan and the Unstoppable Guitar System. My friends, if you're looking for anything on guitar, it's going to be in those 2 courses, and it's literally $1. Link is in the description of this video. I want to help you. Please like this video, subscribe, leave your comments below if you have any questions from me. I answer these questions in these comments all the time. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all those places where the kids hang out. Would like to help you in any way that I possibly can. We do live broadcasts several times a month, and we give away thousands of dollars worth of goodies, including guitars, you name it. If it's related to guitar, we give it away. Amplifiers, cables, strings, books, courses, the whole enchilada. So please join us for a live broadcast. You can go to YourGuitarSage.com/live. Or join us on any of those social network places. I want to help you to learn how to play guitar, and I got lots of free stuff for you. So take advantage of it, my friends. I've been called on to help the world play guitar. I want to help you, all right? Hey, as always, my friends, be kind to all beings. Do the right thing always, and practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video.